race for alderman of the 50th Ward is putting veteran alderman Bernard Stone against a challenger who was born the year Stone was first elected. Stone has been alderman for 34 years. One of the key issues in the race is the future of Devon Avenue and its perennial traffic congestion. The 50th Ward is located on the far north side and covers West Rogers Park. Joining us now to talk about the race is 50th Ward aldermanic candidate Naisy. She is a diversity trainer for the Anti-Defamation League. If elected, she would be the first Asian American on the Chicago City Council. Alderman Stone declined our invitation to join us this evening. Ms. Dolar, welcome to Chicago Tonight. Basic question, why do you want to be alderman?
Well, I want to be alderman because I have realized that the people in the 50th Ward have been shut out of the process. I was registering people to vote in 2004 in a nonpartisan way for the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights, and found that a precinct captain actually came up to me and asked me what was I doing. And I said, well, I'm registering people to vote. And he said to me, you know what? Let me tell you about those SOBs. Those SOBs don't vote.
Referring to immigrants?
I don't know who he was referring to, but to me he was pointing at apartments in the area around the Devon and California area. And that was the first time I really thought about running, because it fires me up when people get shut out of the process.
You say shut out of the process. In what other ways has Alderman Stone, the way he runs the ward, resulted in people being shut out of the process?
Well, you know, Alderman Stone is somebody who's been in his position for a very long time and has really been maintaining his job sort of as a status quo type of situation. And he calls people who come in to ask for help chronic complainers. He yells at people at various events and at town hall meetings. And I think we should expect more when it comes to public service. And that's the theme of our campaign, is expect more for our ward. And we need someone who's an advocate and respects the people of our neighborhood.
What would your priorities be for the ward?
Well, the number one issue that everyone has talked about and is most concerned about is safety. Our neighborhood is one that hadn't been known to be one that is unsafe. However, parents and families have been seeing a steady deterioration of our safety issues. Just a few weeks ago, within a 10-day span, we had 3 incidences of crime. The Emerson Park situation, a vandalism that happened, as well as the shooting on Devon Avenue. So it's time for us to really take a look at this as an overall problem in the ward and not one that's considered isolated incidences. Hate crimes in our area actually has been a persistent problem, and our neighborhood usually ranks in the higher end of having hate crimes, and yet the alderman is not looking at this as a serious problem. Yesterday actually something happened. A synagogue was
Yeah, that was in the paper.
Yeah.
You know, you talk about the rise in crime, and yet the alderman could and has pointed to the fact that, you know, notwithstanding what you've said, the crime rate in the 50th Ward is still relatively low.
It's not about the numbers. It's about what people are experiencing every single day. Actually, in one of the beats, there has been a 300% increase in burglaries. People are seeing drug deals over and over again in our parks right now, but people aren't calling the police. So what needs to happen in this situation is really about reaching out to the community, letting them know that community policing is something that has to be done. We have to fight for more patrol, particularly around our parks and in the Devon Avenue area where there are a lot more people around. And we have to really advocate for more educational opportunities and organized opportunities for youth in our neighborhood. Youth don't have much to do in our neighborhood, yet in other wards there are these type of things that are going on, and so we need an advocate in our neighborhood.
You mentioned Devon Avenue, and in your campaign you've referred to the, quote, economic decline of Devon Avenue. What's wrong with Devon Avenue right now?
Actually, all our business districts have problems when it comes to economic development. Toohey Avenue has many empty storefronts. Western Avenue has had an empty theater there for over 10 years. And Devon Avenue itself, the businesses are actually just surviving, not thriving. It may seem like there are
Why is it so crowded then? If one goes to an Indian restaurant on the weekend, the Devon seems jammed. It's not doing well, even though it's crowded?
If you go there every day during Monday through Friday, it actually is not as crowded as you think. There is an issue in parking. That's the problem there, and when it comes to it seeming so crowded, and there's traffic that happens. So what needs to happen in that situation is that we have to have a real strong creative urban plan to increase parking in the area, as well as work with the residents along the Devon Avenue to see if they would be more flexible about allowing parking around the side streets, and also to beautify Devon Avenue so it becomes a place where people are so proud of that they can bring their relatives and friends as an international marketplace and cultural place. We don't say you got to go see Devon Avenue the way we say you've got to go see Pilsen and you've got to see Chinatown, and that's because it's not getting the resources that it needs. All our business districts practically are TIF districts, which are tax increment finance districts, but yet you're not seeing those tax dollars going to the beautification and the economic development of these particular areas, Toohey, Western, and Devon Avenue. Instead, the money, the money actually is going on the borders of the area, like Lincoln Village. I like Lincoln Village, but Devon Avenue really should be that priority.
Last question for you in the time that we have left. As I noted, if you win, you would become the first Asian American alderman. Has this election become, for want of a better term, a poster child for bigger issues like age, like a changing ward, like ethnicity?
You know, Chicago is a great place because you can be very prideful about who you are. And I am very prideful about the fact that I am an Asian American who grew up in the 50th ward, and race and religion does play a factor in this in terms of people's decisions. Well, I am also a mom, I'm also a property owner, I'm also somebody who really cares about the neighborhood, and so people's decisions are going to be about that.
Naisy, thank you very, very much for coming on the program. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
And